Hello students, welcome to week 4 for COM 565. This week we will address some areas within our draft 4, which is the preliminary suppositions or data analysis section. As you look at the week 4 agenda, it's important to recognize we're reading chapters 7 and 8 in our course text, and we're watching practical steps to completing your thesis as well as this video lecture. Additionally, you need to complete draft number 4, which is our preliminary suppositions or data analysis section. This draft will be particularly unique to your area of research. So no two drafts will be exactly alike, meaning when we get into this, when we get to the rhetorical analyses, you'll be doing something specific. And then if you're doing a research proposal, you'll be doing something specific. Or if you're conducting research, you'll be doing something specific. So as we move through this, let's take a look at our reminders. Don't forget December 12th at 6:30 p.m. in Suite 125 is your presentation date and defense. This is required. It's worth 20% of your grade, so it is important that you are there. The entire department of faculty has been invited for our departments of art and sciences. I have about 5 faculty members confirmed to come, including our department chair, Dr. Pearson. So please make sure that you dress professionally. The professors within our department consist of communication studies, public relations, English, Spanish, and Christian studies. So it's important that you do dress professionally and come ready to prepare. Be prepared to speak. Next week in our lecture, in the coming weeks, we'll have some tips and tricks on how to prepare your presentation. Remember, you need to begin working on revisions for not chapters, for drafts 1 through 3. If you've been given feedback that you need to address, it's important that you start working on that because your project is due in final draft form with little to no APA errors or grammatical errors no later than December 11th. So this is rapidly approaching. We have about 3 weeks until this final draft is due. Remember, this is a good point to keep in mind, that this course is taken last and by itself for a reason. It is a single course you're taking by yourself to finish out your degree, but it's really designed to take up to 6 units of work to complete. But what I'm saying is that it may be one course, but the breadth and the rigor of the work required for you to complete in these 8 weeks really takes the place of 2 courses. So do keep that in mind. This is not something you need to tread lightly. And at all costs, always refer to your Capstone Guidelines handbook that was handed out at our first meeting in October. And additionally, if you have not already, please get in touch with me to schedule your remaining meetings. It is your responsibility to reach out early and often to get in touch with me to schedule your meetings. Waiting until the week of is usually a little too late, as my schedule does fill up quickly and it's difficult to fit people in within that. And remember, each meeting is worth 50 points. There are 3 meetings throughout the term and one that was in October for a total of 200 points, meaning 20% of your grade. So it's really difficult. It can prove to be very difficult if you miss a meeting here or there. So please do take those seriously. That's embedded into the requirements for the course by the university. As you look into draft number 4, you will be writing 5 to 7 pages either on preliminary suppositions or on your data analysis for your project, depending on what it is your topic is. Remember always to shoot for 7 pages. That's usually the best route, so then you can really spend some time focusing on taking out information rather than adding to it at the last minute. Preliminary suppositions, if this is what you're doing, if you're conducting a research proposal or you're writing a research proposal, you're not actually conducting research, this section comes after your methodology and allows you to argue how and in what ways you believe your research may refine, revise, or extend existing knowledge within the subject area. So in particularly, you're going to provide a justification as to what the potential results may mean in regarding or shaping a theoretical framework or underpins within the study. So this is where you would make sense or try to predict how the results of your study may be fruitful to the area of communication research. What are we going to learn from your study? What will the results mean to practitioners in the workplace, in society, influencing policy decisions? What will be improved by conducting your research that's proposed in this study? So as you go through that, think about it. And a lot of this comes from your original thoughts as to why you may want to conduct this research or create a proposal for this research. Meaning you've thought about, if I answer this research question, These are the implications of it, and this is how it may be better for society. That's what you're putting in this section. And that, remember, this preliminary suppositions is only if you are conducting a research proposal, you're writing a research proposal. If you're conducting actual research, this is the section where you would write up your data analysis. You would have conducted your research by now and write a section that deals with all of the analysis of the data so I can start to look at that and give you some good feedback with that. Your rhetorical analysis, if you're doing a rhetorical analysis, this is where you're also conducting your data analysis. This is what you need to do if you're doing a rhetorical analysis. You need to analyze your artifact, and to do that, you need to make sure you've provided a strong artifact description and rationale within your methodology section. You need to tie it to a rhetorical theory. So when you analyze your artifact, you need to analyze it according to the rhetorical theory listed in your methodology section. And you need to then support your analysis with a communication theory. So as you're analyzing your artifact through the rhetorical theory that you've already mentioned, you need to support that analysis with a new communication theory. I've spoken to many of you that are doing rhetorical analysis, and a lot of you have a good idea of what to do, so that's important. If you are conducting actual data or gathering it, this is the point where you need to start writing your data analysis section and start making sense of what it is that you've found. Remember, as we go through this, it's important to know that this is what we're working on this week. Here's a recap of the weekly agenda, so please do keep that in mind. If you have any questions, please reach out to me early and often, and I pray that you all have a blessed week.